how do you help extract stories from spiritual people to go on stage with? Because I know that a lot of times, they don't feel like they have a story, or they don't feel like anybody wants to hear it. How do you help them overcome their blocks? I'm assuming most of what you do is teach people to share their story before they talk about their teaching points and things like that. That might be a bad assumption to make, but can you talk about that a little bit?
I don't do that per se because in my system, you're not allowed to open your mouth before you're confident. So the thing with most public speaking systems, and most people have been to 4 or 5 systems before they come to us, and they're confused, angry, and scared and overwhelmed, and they're like, help me. So 80% of problems of what to say and how to say it disappear when you have baseline confidence. So we start from the premise that baseline confidence is your natural state. Okay. So if somebody is not confident and they're thinking, well, who am I to speak to them? And, oh, maybe I'll tell that part of the story so that they feel bad about me. Then they have compassion. Then they'll help me. Maybe this will kind of tweak my conversion rates. If there's any type of fishing for compliments going on, it's just bad. So step one is always get over yourself. But people, unless you're an advanced meditator or a failed monk like me, or you're deep into consciousness studies like you guys, people don't seem to know that you can tackle bad feelings, negative internal dialogue, and just weird states head on. So somehow they have a presupposition of, okay, so I feel bad. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. So what I'll do is I'll go buy a public speaking course and they'll tell me, here's what to say. So say this, memorize that story, memorize that hook, that line, that thing. Okay. And then go out and practice, which is also called public humiliation. Just go out there, unconfident, unsure, full of doubts. Go there while you're thinking, I hope you like me. I hope I do a good job. I hope it goes well. And then from a weak frame, deliver a snappy, unsatisfactory delivery thing. Get laughed at. Start again. Get laughed at. Start again. And then develop a muscle of thickening your skin so that then you become confident in telling your story. And then get out there and tell it. So the problem with this is that if you somehow develop what you want at the end, which is confidence, you end up with confidence in that one speech that you practiced by heart over and over again in front of a mirror. Now, do you think that natural leaders are confident because they know what to say? Or do you think they know what to say or found out the right words because they're confident to begin with? So what we do is we start with the presupposition of, if you're not confident to begin with, because say, I don't know, you were a kid in school and you went in front of the class and got laughed at, yeah, you're stupid. Then you're sent, oh, let me see. Let me show you. I got one here. Let me show you. Okay. Think of it like this. Say you go out as a kid, and as a kid, you don't yet have the capacity to discern that you are eternal consciousness and you are not your mind, you're not your body, you are the awareness of all that. So you think you are literally your body. So then you go on and speak and somebody says, hey, you're stupid. So then your sense of self kind of caves in. It just caves in and you feel bad. Your confidence is dented. So now you take that for granted. I'm stupid. You attach the word I am, the verb to be as in existence, identity, to the word stupid. You take this at face value. So next time you have to go speak in front of class, you're presupposing, you're thinking, you take it for granted. I mean, I'm stupid. So let me hide that. And then you go and deliver another shitty speech. You got no backbone. It caves in again. Hey, you're stupid. So you end up with something that looks kind of like this. So your sense of self, your sense of identity. And by the way, I'm coming at you people, anyone listening to this, with full compassion. I am an ex-chronic stutterer. I could not even speak before. English is my second language. I've been interviewed on live TV and radio in multiple languages, and I now coach international keynote speakers and TV hosts, okay? So I'm not putting anybody down. I know what this feels like, this dented sense of self. I know what this is, okay? Then you grow up thinking that this is what it is. The verb is important. The verb to be as in existent is what it is. So you make choices in life that makes it so that you don't have to speak in public. You don't have to make videos to grow your brand. You don't have to work with Richard to become a viral sensation because I'm not a speaker and make videos. So you make choices in life that pigeonhole you into a place where you don't have to exhibit your full size, just your full size. Anyway, you keep doing like this. So now you start hiding behind a bunch of stuff. Oh, maybe if I have the perfect slides, maybe if I buy this course that tells me how to make the perfect slides, then I go and present. But everybody sees the crack. You're not fooling anybody. Maybe if I hide behind the logo or I hide behind something else, but everybody can see right through that crack here. So the first step in speaking with confidence, on stage, on camera, in meetings and workshops, anywhere you have to speak, the first step is an inside job. Is you have to go from the inside and undent your sense of self. Like you would undent a fender in the old days. Richard, remember these days, right? Fenders used to be metal. You get it dent, you go from the inside, you undent the damn thing. Now everything fits like a glove. So you don't need to hide behind anything when you get on stage. So that's baseline confidence. Once you've gone through that, we have a 21-day process. It's free on our website. You can just go through the process, 21-day process to get over yourself. Internal tools to get rid of that stuff. We get rid of what prevents you from displaying, exhibiting, living, and being your own natural self. From there, then, Kylie, to get your question, then we move on to what do you say? And then we go into different types of stories, and we always stack 2 stories in what we call a money shot to help people increase their conversion rates. So we can go into the story now because it's been a while to get to that point. If you have any other questions.
Yeah, I'd kind of be curious before we lead into some of the story stuff. How do you help people kind of reconnect with that deeper part of themselves, that authentic part of themselves? And what are the key blocks that people have to receiving that?
Thank you. Key blocks is identity always. So there's a bunch of stuff. I don't know what to say, blah, blah, blah. When we get down to it, it falls under the I'm not good enough. It's just the I'm not enoughness type of stuff. It's the let me puff my chest up and try to make it, fake it till I make it, to try to appear bigger than I am. We have, last time I counted, Richard, I have 125 different ways of helping people with this. So based on, when it's one-on-one, based on their level of consciousness, you talked about my man, David Hawkins. Based on their level of consciousness, we have different tools. Based on their goals and their timelines, we have different tools. But the 3 ones that are systematized in our course, by the way, Kylie, I did one of them. I was on an interview with our friend Sebastian Cruz, and I had them experience 2 of these 3. So it's on a live demo. So first thing we do, Richard, is we help people connect with the silent presence underneath their thoughts. Number 1, you're terrified, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, you feel like it's the end of the world, you can't concentrate, your breath is out of whack. And then you try to manage thoughts. And the great thing about, I got this from David Hawkins, the great things about your mind is that 99% of your mind is already silent. Think of an ocean, all the waves. These are all different thoughts, coming and going and coming and going, and it never stops. If you just go one half an inch underwater, everything's silent already. So we teach a process called hyperpresence so that people can develop their own internal sense of what we call the silent presence. We grow their internal awareness of all their senses. And once they have that, they're able to multiply the effects of 3 main techniques. The first technique is for people that are kinesthetic, like everything is a feeling to them. Are you familiar with the emotion code from Dr. Bradley? I think it's not Bradley Cooper, Dr. Bradley something.
I'm not.
It's a chiro from the States that discovered that he could remove his patient's pain by passing a magnet on their spine.
Oh, cool.
So for people that are not into like heavy consciousness stuff and are not allowed to, can't visualize stuff, we use magnet therapy to demagnetize the pull of physical emotions on their body. Anybody that is like Everything is a concept to them. Like, if I think about this, then this freaks out, and this is freaking out all the time. My mentor, I call him the crazy French shaman. His name is in French, Alexandre Nadeau. If you speak French, Alexandre Nadeau is the man. Okay. Now his technique, he doesn't teach it in English. I use it in my system. It's called the technique that dissolves mental structures. If you want to try it here, we can do it live, or we can explain it. It's a technique that in 4 questions brings people to, well, snap. I can be me. You mean, like, they have the realization of, I can do what I want. This thing that I wanted to do for the last 30 some years, I can do it now. So I just did one like on Wednesdays. It's my group coaching calls for the public speaking course. And we just did one today about this. So with this, for example, there's a testimonial I have, a lady, Jean Border. For 40 years, she could not speak about money one-on-one. So spiritual people, any spiritual people in the house, money is bad and all that stuff. She had an experience at 11 years old. She could not speak to one person. So what I do when I go to summits or events, I don't do talks because there has to be 10,000 great speaking coaches. What makes me different? I don't talk about it. I say, pick anyone from the audience and I make live demonstrations. I either untry them on the spot or create their message on the spot. We can get to that, Kelly, if you like. I just make a demonstration. Here's how you do it. So she comes in. She says, well, I had this thing happen to me. 11 years old. She's in her 40s or 50s. 22 minutes later, using this technique with the pen, she pitched the audience twice. So she could not make sales calls one-on-one for her business for 40 years. Some sort of a trauma about money. 22 minutes later, she's pitching the audience live twice. So I just forget about this because I just do that all the time, this type of stuff. Anyway, forget about that. A few months later, I'm invited again by the host of that summit to another thing. Hey, Jean's in the audience. Hey, Jean, how you doing? Nice seeing you. She said, well, actually, I changed my business now. I actually teach business. I teach people now how to resolve their mindset issues around money. That was a 22-minute demonstration with in French, it's called, if you speak French, people, la technique de dissolution des structures mentales, the technique that dissolves mental structures. And for people that are visual, which Sebastian Cruz liked a lot, Callie. Sebastian told me that he uses it before his stuff. And now he wants to put some of that stuff in one of his courses. We have people, highly visual people, Richard. Some people, like they visualize auras and stuff and they get crazy. So, but the great visual people, and when they're in a great state, they see great stuff. But when they're in a bad state, they see bad stuff. That's the thing about them. So they get terrified about their own vision. And often they're too close to it to realize that they're not what they see. They're not their mind. They're not their emotions. They're the witness of that. So they get kind of caught in it. So we have them use shamanic holograms. So we have somebody say, okay, let your mind make a hologram that represents the bad feeling, the bad situation, the bad state, the terrible movie of people laughing at you on stage, which is a representation of your subconscious mind of what you had when you were a kid, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the trauma is. So they make that. We have them not shy away from what's already there. We're not creating pain for them, but we help them face it head on. So anyway, once they see the hologram, then we ask their subconscious mind, which is easy for them because they're visual. Let your mind, your subconscious mind, make the necessary changes in the hologram itself to represent the healing. If they believe in God, we have them observe God making the changes. If they believe in nothing, we have them put that into nothingness and the irrelevance of it all. So it de-dramatizes. Whatever people believe in, you don't have to believe in anything. Whatever you believe in, if some people believe in archangels, you ask the archangel to make the changes. The main thing is that you observe. You don't start to think, oh, let me put some purple in there because purple is healed. No. You observe the hologram itself go through the healing. And then you reabsorb it in your system. We have a process for that. Most of that stuff is like deep hypnosis processes that we use. And once people are like 70%, all right, confident, I can breathe, I can be myself, I'm there, I'm present enough, then we move on to storytelling. if that helps. We can go deeper in any one of these techniques if you like.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think we just give people an overview of kind of how
Yeah.
you work and some of the techniques, and they'll have to come and work with you later if they want to get the other 128 techniques, right?
Well, these are the 3 that are systematized because
Yeah.
they cover most type of people. They're easy, like you just go to step 1, watch the video, do the thing, come to the coaching call. It's systematized. Yeah.